please. Our baby deserves better than this.
You trapped me with this pregnancy. I want a divorce.
Daniel, how can you say that? Come, Daniel. You're wasting your time. No, this can't be happening.
A storm raged outside the city hospital. Rain pounded the pavement as a pregnant woman stood trembling beneath the entrance lights, one hand wrapped protectively around her swollen belly. Tears mixed with the rain on her face. Standing before her was her husband, one of the richest men in the country. The man she loved more than anyone. His voice was cold. His eyes showed no emotion. You trapped me with this pregnancy, Emily. I want a divorce. Emily felt her heart shatter. Daniel, please. This child is yours. Before she could say another word, a luxury car pulled up beside them. A glamorous woman stepped out and wrapped her arms around Daniel. The pregnant wife rose. Daniel didn't even look back. Without a second glance, he walked away, leaving his pregnant wife alone in the rain. Leaving behind the child he refused to acknowledge. But what Daniel Harrison didn't know was this. 7 years later, the woman he abandoned would become more successful than he ever imagined. And the son he rejected would one day hold the key to saving his empire. 7 years earlier, Emily Carter had loved Daniel Harrison with all her heart. When they first met, Daniel wasn't a billionaire. He was just a young entrepreneur with big dreams and countless failures. Investors rejected him. Banks turned him away. Friends doubted him. But Emily never did. When everyone else walked away, she stayed. She worked extra hours to support them. She encouraged him through every setback. She believed in him when nobody else would. Together, they built a future. Or so she thought. The day Emily discovered she was pregnant should have been the happiest day of her life. Instead, it became the beginning of her nightmare. By then, Daniel's company had exploded into $1 billion empire. Money changed him. Power changed him. Success changed him. And then another woman entered his life. Sophia Grant. Beautiful. Ambitious. Manipulative. She knew exactly what she wanted. And what she wanted was Daniel's wealth. Little by little, she poisoned his mind. She convinced him that Emily was holding him back. That Emily wasn't sophisticated enough for his new world. That he deserved someone better. Soon Daniel stopped coming home early. Then he stopped calling. Then he stopped caring. Until one rainy night, he handed Emily divorce papers. And walked away. Leaving her with nothing but heartbreak. And a child growing inside her. Life became a daily battle. Emily moved into a small apartment. The rent was barely affordable. Bills piled up. Some nights she went to bed hungry so her son could eat. But she never complained. Because every time she looked at her little boy, she found the strength to keep going. His name was Ethan. And he became her entire world. Every morning she told him the same thing. You can become anything you want. Ethan would grin. Even stronger than superheroes. Emily laughed. Even stronger. While Ethan slept, Emily studied. Business. Marketing. Finance. Leadership. Every spare minute became an opportunity to learn. Years passed. One small freelance client became 3. 3 became 10. 10 became 50. Slowly, Emily built a consulting business from the ground up. The same determination that once helped Daniel succeed was now helping her build her own future. By the time 7 years had passed, Emily was no longer struggling. She had become one of the most respected business consultants in the country. The broken woman Daniel abandoned was gone. In her place stood a powerful entrepreneur. And Daniel had no idea. While Emily's life was improving, Daniel's empire was collapsing. Sophia's influence over him had grown stronger. She encouraged reckless investments, risky acquisitions, dangerous financial decisions. At first, everything seemed fine. Then the losses started. Millions disappeared. Then hundreds of millions. Then billions. Investors panicked. Stock prices crashed. News headlines attacked the company daily. Employees feared for their jobs. Daniel worked around the clock trying to stop the bleeding. But the damage was already done. One evening, his chief financial officer entered his office carrying a report. The man's face was pale. "We have 6 months before bankruptcy." Daniel felt the room spin. 6 months. His entire empire was dying. And for the first time in years, he realized money couldn't save him. Several weeks later, Daniel attended a national business conference. Industry leaders from around the country filled the auditorium. The keynote speaker was known for turning failing businesses into success stories. Daniel barely paid attention. Until the host stepped onto the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Emily Carter." Daniel's heart nearly stopped. The audience erupted into applause. And onto the stage walked the woman he abandoned. Confident. Elegant. Successful. Powerful. Emily spoke with authority. Every word commanded attention. Every lesson inspired respect. The crowd hung on her every sentence. Daniel stared in disbelief. The woman he once called worthless had become everything he never expected. And she had done it without him. After the conference ended, Daniel waited backstage. Then he noticed a young boy standing nearby. Something about him felt familiar. The eyes. The smile. The way he tilted his head. Before Daniel could process his thoughts, the boy ran forward. "Mom." Emily smiled and opened her arms. Daniel froze. The world seemed to stop. The child wasn't just familiar. The child looked exactly like him. Suddenly the truth hit him. Like a lightning bolt. The boy was his son. The son he had rejected before birth. That night Daniel couldn't sleep. Memories haunted him. Emily crying in the rain. The divorce papers. His cruel words. The child he never met. The family he threw away. For the first time in years, Daniel felt ashamed. The next day he visited Emily. She opened the door calmly. "What do you want?" Daniel lowered his head. "I want to talk about our son." Emily stared at him. For 7 years, she had carried every burden alone. Now the billionaire who once believed he controlled everything looked completely powerless. As Daniel investigated the past, shocking discoveries emerged. Sophia had manipulated everything. She forged messages. Deleted emails. Created fake evidence. Spread lies. Every misunderstanding had been carefully planned. Sophia had never loved Daniel. She loved his money. And she had destroyed a family to get it. Daniel finally saw the truth. But understanding the truth didn't erase the damage he caused. Daniel wanted to reconnect with Ethan. Emily wasn't interested in easy forgiveness. You don't disappear for 7 years and come back pretending nothing happened. She was right. Trust isn't given. It's earned. So Daniel began showing up. Every soccer game. Every school event. Every birthday. Not with expensive gifts. Not with money. With consistency. With effort. With genuine love. Slowly, Ethan began opening his heart. And little by little, a father-son relationship started to grow. Meanwhile, Daniel's company was reaching its final days. Investors were leaving. Banks were withdrawing support. Bankruptcy seemed inevitable. Desperate for help, Daniel turned to the one person who had rebuilt her life from nothing. Emily. Together they analyzed the company's problems. They cut unnecessary expenses. Restructured debt. Improved operations. Restored investor confidence. The turnaround wasn't easy. But it worked. Within months, the company began recovering. And Daniel finally realized something important. Emily had always been his greatest partner. He had simply been too blind to see it. 1 year later, The company survived. Ethan thrived. Life felt peaceful again. As the sun set over the city skyline, Daniel stood before Emily. Not as a billionaire. Not as a powerful businessman. Just as a man carrying years of regret. Tears filled his eyes. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. Emily remained silent. Daniel continued. But I'll spend the rest of my life proving I've changed. A long pause followed. Then Emily smiled softly. Not because she forgot the past. But because she refused to let the past control her future. Nearby, Ethan laughed as he played. For the first time in many years, their family felt whole again. Not perfect. But healing. And sometimes, healing is enough. Never abandon the people who stood beside you when you had nothing. Success means very little if you lose the people who truly loved you on the journey to achieve it. Money can build an empire. But loyalty, love, and family are what make life worth living.